going to start on number 5. I'm going to once again ask, please do not write while you are watching the video. If you are learning, you can watch the video and then try the proof. If you think you know how to do it, please try it and then watch the video to see if your method makes sense. I added a K up here at the top. It was somewhere in the triangle, which was confusing, so I put it at the top instead. Similar to what I did with number 4, I'm going to rename these angles using the 3 points. I'm not doing this because I have to. I'm only doing this because I want to give you practice with naming an angle with 3 letters. Angle 1 can be renamed as angle J, K, and then M. And angle 2 can be renamed as L, K, and M. I'm going to do the same thing with angles 3 and 4. Angle 3 can be named J, M, K. And angle 4 can be named L, M, K. The goal of this proof is to prove that JKL, which is the large triangle here, is isosceles. That means that it would have 2 sides that are congruent, namely JK and LK, and also 2 angles, namely J and L, which are congruent. So my goal to get to JKL being isosceles will be along the way to show that these 2 are the same or that these 2 are the same. I'm going to do so first by proving that the triangle on the left and right are congruent using angle, side, something like that. Then I can say the pieces are the same through CPCTC. So after I've proven that this triangle is the same as this one, then I will be able to say something like those sides are the same and these angles are the same by CPCTC, which will prove the triangle is isosceles in the end. I can end with that as my statement. My first given is that JKM is the same as LKM. I'm going to write this in my proof. The second thing is that the other set of angles is given as being congruent. Angle JMK is congruent to angle LMK. I'd like to remind you, you must be using the angle symbols if you want to communicate anything meaningful. If you write no symbol at all, I don't know if you're talking about the triangle or the angle, and it's meaningless. You should be using a symbol for angles when you're talking about angles. You need to be using a symbol for triangles when talking about triangles. Those are our 2 givens. I don't know that this is a 90-degree angle, therefore I will not put a box. It never told me that this was perpendicular. It didn't say that KM is perpendicular to JL. This was never told me, so I'm not going to put a box here, even if it looks like a box. That would be a silly thing to do, because it is not told to me that it is true. I do not know that those are 90s. Right now I have 2 angles that are the same in each triangle. I need one more piece of information to prove the triangles are congruent. In this case, I will use the reflexive property in the middle, stating that side KM is congruent to itself. At this point, I have enough information to prove the triangles are congruent by angle, side, angle, and the side is in between connecting the 2 angles. I will have triangle KMJ. Notice I am using the triangle symbol. Goes with, in this case, KML. The K's go together, the M's go together, and the J and the L are congruent as well. I'm going to check to see if the things I have drawn in my picture, the angle, side, and angle, are actually in my proof. The first angle I have drawn is found as being congruent in step 1 here. The side in the middle, I have written that that is the same as itself in step 3. And that angle on the bottom, I put in step 2 as being congruent. I have not missed any pieces. Now that I have proven the triangles are congruent, I want to show the pieces are the same using CPCTC. So if the triangles are the same, then their parts should be the same. In order to prove isosceles, which is my goal, I need to say that these sides would be the same, and or I could do either or both, that these angles are the same. And I can do both of those things by CP/CTC. In fact, I'm going to choose to put them in the same step. I can say that JK is congruent to LK by CP/CTC. Because the triangles are the same, their pieces should be the same. You'll notice J and K are the very first and last things here. L and K are the very first and last things here. So because they go together and the triangles are the same, they will be the same as well. I can also say that angle J is the same as angle L. J is last here, L is last here, they go together, they're the same by CP/CTC. Please do not say that this is the same because of isosceles. I don't at this point in my proof know at all that the big triangle rather, JKL, is isosceles. I have never stated that the triangle is isosceles, so I can't say this is true because of isosceles. This is true because the triangles are the same, therefore the parts are the same. But now, because I've shown that the pieces are the same for a different reason, should be CTC. Because I've shown that these pieces are the same by CP/CTC, now I can end with my statement that the triangle is isosceles. This is going to be the definition of isosceles, which just means that it has two sides that are the same and two angles that are the same. So you can see this big red triangle JKL clearly has two sides that are the same, marked in black, and two angles that are the same. That is what it means to be isosceles. I proved that those pieces were the same through CP/CTC. So now I can say that JKL is isosceles by the definition of isosceles. That is it for that proof.